Welcome to another episode of VR and All That Jas. We're your hosts, Jasmine.
And Jasmine.
And we are live on YouTube every third Wednesday of the month if you want to chat live with us. We're also streaming on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Don't forget you can also follow us via audio as well in case you missed the live show. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and Google. And please, even if you're watching the live and not the audio version, subscribe, follow, whatever that platform has, because it will definitely help our numbers there. But yeah, this month we're actually a little early because this other Jasmine over here is like traveling everywhere. First it was Hawaii, and then it was San Diego, and then it was, I don't know, I lost track. There were a lot of locations in this thing.
Yeah, so my sister's visiting for a couple of weeks, and so we're gonna go on a family vacation, and those are fun and filled with no fighting.
Is that sarcasm?
Yeah. But anyway, as you can see, we're not alone this week. We have a very special guest host, Ashley Huffman. She is the queen of haptics, a total badass, and I'm going to let her introduce herself because I think you can do it better than me.
So cool.
Hey, so happy to be here, ladies. Appreciate you guys so much. Huge fans of you, both as friends and just as like leaders in the VR space. So thank you so much for what you do. You guys are absolute badasses. So huge compliments from you. So yeah, I'm Ashley Huffman. I work at Titan Haptics. I'm a co-founder there. I focus on the VR industry. So I work with companies to integrate haptics into their tech. But I'm also just a huge haptics nerd. I have a podcast called the Haptics Club with my friends at Unity and Razer and SenseGlove. And I also have a newsletter about haptics called All Things Haptics on Substack. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
You said with Razer, Unity, and SenseGlove. Man, those are some heavy hitters. Yeah, so make sure you listen to this podcast.
I'm so excited. I've been like, when we were coming up with a list of, hey, what other badass women that do VR or VR adjacent things can we have on here? I've always like, Ashley was at the top of my list. So once I found out that, she's gonna be on, I was like, bam, that box is checked. Like, I'm so happy.
Yeah, actually, Ashley reached out to us a little bit, and we were like, whoa, good timing. We were just thinking about you. So it was awesome. But okay, I'm pretty sure everybody here knows what haptics is. But just in case you don't know what haptics is, maybe you can give us a very short introduction into what haptics is and what kind of stuff does it integrate into.
Yeah, for sure. So most people, don't really know what haptics is. Sometimes when I tell someone I'm in haptics, they're like, I don't know what that is. And that's typical because it's like the secret sauce behind a lot of technologies. But haptics is the buzzing vibration you get in your devices. So your mobile phone, when you get a text and your sound's off and it vibrates, that's the haptic motor working and doing its magic. In your gaming controller, like your PlayStation, when it's rumbling, that's the haptic motor. And so you can integrate haptics in so many things. It's in, like 99% of phones. It's in tablets. It's in cars nowadays. It's in so many things. Yeah, they put it in seats so that you can feel like rumbling if they want to give you notifications.
What?
And one company is even doing it for music experiences so that when you're driving, you can feel the bass kind of like a sub-pack, like huge speaker. Yeah, really cool. So haptics are a lot of cool stuff, not just VR.
It's one of those things where when they're not working, you definitely notice. Because I've had like from my controllers before, I think it was like either Ragnarok or Beat Saber, or some rhythm game. When they weren't working, I was like, this is not right and not playable when you can't get that feedback response. It's like it's just empty. Like what's the point?
Or if it's like timed wrong, it's so bad. Like if you're playing Beat Saber, there's like this delicious like vibration you have when you touch the two kind of sticks together. And then when you hit, like it just feels great to slice through stuff. But if it's like mistimed, it's just like your brain's like, what? Like what's even happening? It just feels wrong.
Missing, because then it's just like air. It's like, what's
one of the things that like always blew my mind about VR is like when you do boxing in VR. Okay, if you were boxing in real life and you accidentally like miss the hit, you feel really weird and like you're about to fall over. But if you are boxing VR, technically you're not hitting anything, you're hitting air. But then because of the haptics, it makes you feel like you're actually hitting something. I don't know. That's always like, I don't understand how that works. Brain, why does that work? Ashley?
Yeah, it's same with like mini putt. Yeah, like in mini putt, it's like such a small haptic effect in like the walkabout mini putt, but it really does give your brain just like a little bit of haptics helps your brain just like translate it between I'm taking an action and something is happening. So it doesn't take a whole lot of haptic effects. Like if you had say too much, say like it rumbled like crazy, like irrationally rumbling like a crazy amount, and all you did was like punch once, you'd be like, it's like I didn't punch the universe. So really, yeah, it's like there's like this weird threshold that you have in haptics that it's like you just need enough to trick your brain into thinking like touch, and too much is too much, and too little is like just like you just said, like Adam, it's like what's happening here? It's broken.
I have kind of a. I'm going to ask you more questions at the end, but I just thought of one now. I've thought about like hand tracking, and I've always been wondering like what you thought about that, because that's one of the reasons I think hand tracking's cool, but one of the things it lacks is that haptic feedback, because you're just kind of, I'm touching a cube, but not really. I'm just grasping at air. So I've always been curious like what your thoughts were on like hand tracking, because they don't really have haptics right now, or maybe they will in the future. I don't know.
The Haptics has the tack glove that has the vibrations on the fingertips. It's a little like weird though. Still, it needs to be refined, I think.
Yeah, it's like a developer product so far. So it's like it's still a work in progress, but it's actually a really great implementation. It has the same motors as your cell phone in the fingertips. So it's definitely like it's a great step in that direction. But in terms of like general use, yeah, for sure, there's no haptics. There's companies like Ultraleap who are known for their hand tracking, but they also started with haptics. And so they've got like a different kind of haptic board that uses basically air, and there's like the surface below your hands, and then it basically spits air into your hands and you can feel haptics. So really what's interesting is like the company that's most dedicated to having no haptics in your hands is actually really bought into the need for haptics. So I think we'll see a lot more uses of like say like Apple Watches, kind of wearables that are like less intrusive than having to like stick on like these huge things, this huge amount of hardware that can give you that just that little bit of haptic effect that's going to tell you I've pressed a button, I'm typing in a keyboard, just the things that we're used to even with our mobile phone that just give us the feedback we need to just know that we're interacting with something. It feels real.
Sure, I need it.
Definitely. So we're definitely going to dive deeper into all of Ashley's background a little bit later in the podcast, but we have so many topics today. A lot of stuff has happened in VR. So Adam, what are we talking about today?
Dude, okay, I guess we'll just start with the first big one, which if you've been on Twitter today, you've probably seen it, but ROBLOX is coming to the Quest. Which, to be completely honest, I haven't tried ROBLOX on PC VR, but I mean, I'm no dummy. I've heard it's huge, and not just with like VR, but it's been big amongst, I want to say, the younger folks. I don't know what I'm assuming that it's the younger generation that's mostly into ROBLOX. I don't, but I could be wrong just because I'm not a ROBLOX person.
I know this is really tough for us to talk about. We're all like basically boomers at this point. What are we talking about? Hey, I listened to a bunch of us old ladies talk about ROBLOX. Yeah, it's coming to Quest, and I actually have no idea what to say about this, but it's a big deal, I think. One of the things that I was thinking about was recently Meta lowered their age from 13 to 10, which was about a month ago. And now all of a sudden we get this ROBLOX is on the Quest or in VR. It seems really timed perfectly.
Well, I think it said like 13 is the supposed minimum age to be able to use ROBLOX on the Quest. So I think they were probably planning on doing it anyway. But I mean, maybe this can be kind of like it's almost surprising it's on Quest, because maybe like a Horizon Worlds competitor in a way. But I feel like we're going to see a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of cool creations and different things that people made, because people have gotten, I mean, I haven't played ROBLOX, but I've seen a lot of the cool creations people have made out of it. Mm-hmm. Developers, even regular people. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. We're going to see some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's going to bring, I think we all can agree that ROBLOX is probably a younger audience. So, okay, we agreed on that. But now Meta also lowered the age to a lower age. So now it's going to bring, I feel like Christmas is going to bring a lot of young children to VR, which is good because it's going to grow VR on the others. But the flip side of that is, oh my gosh, like I'm way too old to be playing with kids. Like I should, at my age, I should not be playing with anybody that's under 18. Yeah, but also like, you know, before Horizon World used to be 18 plus, and then they changed it because a bunch of kids just kept going in there anyway. So and now, you know, it just we really need a way. Like I've been passionate about this, but I feel like lately with all the things that are happening, I'm extra get the kids some safe spaces.
Yeah, it's like beneficial for both sides for sure. Because it's like for us, it's like I don't want to play real VR fishing or mini putt with a stranger that happens to be like a 6-year-old. Because it's like now it's like I feel like I've got to really watch what I say, and like and I'm protective of them and what other people say. But at the same time, it's like kids shouldn't even have access to adults in that way. Because I know maybe their parents think they're safe because they're playing. It's just a fishing game, honey. Like.
Yeah, it's just a game. They're just on their VR, right? The other kids are on there, but no, there's other people on there. It can be really dangerous. So I don't know. I'm getting more and more like worried about the fact that there's not a clear separation. Though I am glad that there is something like Rec Room where younger people can generally hang out, and I think Roblox will be that same space. But we gotta do something needs to happen with this.
It's so weird how each of the different like social VR platforms, I mean, it's not like they can really enforce these things, but VR chats kind of become the like, oh, it's probably, you know, you want to have some heavy supervision, 18 plus. Roblox has managed to stick in its like pretty kid friendly niche, and then Horizon Worlds, I haven't really tried that one yet, but it seems to be adulty, but not out there adulty so far.
Yeah, so adulty. I love that word. Well, you know what it is, that Rec Room, for example, they have a very set avatar, but in VR chat you can bring whatever adulty avatars that you want to bring in. So, and it's free, so of course all the young people are gonna flock to anything that's free in VR. So anyway, I know it's exciting to get such a big title like Roblox in VR. Of course, it's huge. And it's something that is so heavily populated and heavily played. But yeah, there's just a lot of questions that come into play. I did see someone comment on one of my videos. So I posted a TikTok about this, and someone said, oh, my child is so excited. They keep playing Roblox, but I'm always in VR. And now we have something that we can do together. So there's there's some really sweet things that are happening. Yeah, so it's not all, I mean, overall, I think it's a net positive, but you know, there's things we need to be cautious about.
It's just like anything else. You got to know what your kid's doing, you know, whether it's just internet flat screen stuff in VR. Like you can't use technology as a babysitter. Yeah, it's a great tool, but as long as you're kind of, you know, monitoring, I don't want to say like necessarily hovering, but just know who they're talking to, where they're going, what they're doing.
General parenting practices. So we forgot to say hi to all of our people that are in chat. I thought you were going to go over the, you know, briefly what we were going to talk about, but we went straight into it. So first, I know there's so many things to talk about. First, let's say thank you, Samson. Thank you so much for the $5 donation to our episode. And let's say hi to some people. I think the first person here was Q Creator. Thank you for being here. He said, I love Threads, deleted Twitter. We'll get into that. Bear Bowman, thank you for being here. And hello, I'm fellow. Brand VR, Sasuke, Mono Dietrich, Foodies, Fourth Wall Breaker, Backsorn. Who else am I missing? Wolveraza. And Kane is here. Arlen, one more Benjamin, and am I missing anyone else?
There's a lot of people.
So thank you all for being here. That's so sweet of you. All right, I think the next topic, Threads.
That's exciting. So I know you made a Threads, or you've been active on it. What have you been thinking about it so far? Because I made an account. And that's as far as I've kind of gotten.
Well, Ashley's on it too. Maybe we can talk about you, Ashley. What have you thought of it so far?
It's tough. Like when I first jumped in, I just had no idea because it's such a different experience having like no hashtags. But I think there's like something freeing about the fact that it's so blank slate. I've got very little interactivity because I've posted very little. I think I'm still trying to figure out what the audience for it is and my purpose, but I think it's interesting to see how other people are using it, and I'm curious like what value you've gotten out of it, because you just hit like how many followers did you hit?
You guys, it is 1 week since Threads became a thing, and I'll explain Threads in a second because it looks like a lot of people don't know what it is, but it's been a week, and today, right before this podcast, we hit 1,000, or my Threads account hit 1,000 followers. Yay! So I'm actually going to do a Quest 2 giveaway on there. I didn't tell anyone yet. I was going to post it when I hit 1,000. Then it happened right before this podcast. So I'll post it on there. Follow me in there if you want to know what's going on. But Threads is Instagram's competitor to Twitter. It's like a text-only Twitter or text-only Instagram account, basically. Text-only Instagram account. With the word text and Twitter and Threads are also similar.
Musk is mad.
Oh my gosh, yes, Musk is very mad.
Fight though, right? Like, all right,
there's that cage fight that's happening.
Wow.
Yeah, some of like people have been screenshotting some of the things that Elon Musk has been saying on Twitter about Mark Zuckerberg and stuff. And I really thought they were fake because he said Zuck is cuck. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds really offensive.
Okay, I feel like once you get enough, rich and famous or whatever, maybe you should stay off Twitter. I feel like whenever people, because I thought Musk and he was doing cool stuff, space, cars, whatever. But as soon as he started posting stuff on Twitter, I was like, oh, this guy's kind of like a dick. But I wouldn't have known that if he didn't start just posting on Twitter. I feel like it happens to so many celebrities or, famous people or whatever. Once they start running their mouths on Twitter, then people start realizing, oh, this person kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you first start dating someone, you have this image and they're on this pedestal, and then they start running their mouth, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe not. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for trying. But okay.
Now I can't unsee the stuff that you've said. So there's like, oh shit. I mean, S.
Oh shoot. Okay, I guess that does mean something, but I don't know what it means. They said stay pure. Okay. Anyway, so what Threads has been for me, it feels to me like the biggest chat group you've ever been in with the entire world. And it's almost like Discord, except it's all just in one channel, but you don't have to see every single thing that everyone talks about. It just, whatever it thinks is good for you to be part of that conversation, that's what it will show you. That's what it feels like. So it's very free flowing. I feel like Twitter, it's so crafted sometimes, it's like kind of, oh, look at this, or look at that, or like news here, news that. It seems a little bit, like more intentional. Whereas Threads is super casual. People will literally wake up and say, good morning, Threaders, what's up? Like, that's how casual it is. You can post that and it's fine. And people are like, good morning, how was your day? And it's just like so relaxed. You can post whatever you want on there. And you can, like, the culture on there right now, which is crazy. That's been a week and there's already a culture. But the culture is you can respond to whatever you want to be a part of the conversation. So it's just it feels like you're in a bar and you're just walking up to random people and just chatting with them and being like, oh, what are you guys talking about? Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that too. All right, bye. I'm going to go talk to these people.
I think I'm not like 100% happy that the potential Twitter killer is from Meta, but it's kind of feels like the lesser of two evils, maybe. So it's like, yeah, I don't like what's going on with Twitter, but there's a new thing and it's by Meta, but I guess, so I'm like, she got to pick one and it's not going to be great, but I just loved Twitter so much. That was like my main platform. That's how I would connect with everybody. Yeah. And I'm so sad with how it's just, I don't know whatever's going on with it over there. So I am happy for a new one, but we'll see. I don't know.
Well, with Twitter, people keep saying it's gone downhill and I'm just not I guess, fully understand. Is there specifics that
Just
you've
all
noticed?
not to be like, not politically, but like all of the stuff that Musk has done or has planned. Like he fired a bunch of people, rehired some people. He's gonna rate limits you unless you have a check mark, which also negatively affects advertisers. Because besides the normal content creator stuff, you know, for my work for Live, I also run social media ads. So I'm like, who's gonna see an ad if you could only see 300 or 600 posts a day or whatever? So why would I want to advertise on Twitter? So I feel like they're heavily going towards it's check mark or nothing. Like you're only, if you have a check mark, you can see more posts. People can see your posts. If you don't pay us money, pay us money.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I do pay them money, and I've noticed that a lot of like my posts have just not gotten as much reach, especially if you post anything with a link. They're like, screw you. Everyone has to stay on Twitter, and that's it. You can't go anywhere else. So, for example, we posted about this podcast saying, hey, we're live. Didn't get that many views, but we'll see. So far I'm having fun with Threads, and I think Adam, I was about to call you Jasmine. I think Adam, that you said you might try it out on your upcoming vacation. So
yeah. I'm going to be taking a trip to Romania with the Live team next week. So I'll probably start posting it there. Just post some like, hey, cool, I'm out of town pictures and things. And maybe as I get used to it and how it works, then I'll start using it more regularly for normal VR stuff. But I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm excited.
Yeah, so if you want to see Adam's Live adventures overseas, go follow her on Threads. So Eternal Terrors in chat asks, do you all think Sony will put more effort into VR now that Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard?
I don't know. I hope it doesn't turn into like an EA thing where they just have so many companies under their belt that they start getting a little unhinged. Although I don't know. So I don't know if Sony cares that much because I don't know. It's a tough thing. I'm really surprised that the FTC let that go through, to be honest. So maybe I need more time to process. I'm like, but Disney gets away with stuff all the time. So I guess this is just the world we live in now.
What do you think, Ashley?
Yeah, I also don't really know how I feel about it because I think it can go either way. It could turn into something really good. I think Microsoft has a history of actually doing things with the companies that they purchase, and they utilize whatever the IP or people or tech. So I think it's of any company it's interesting, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know how that'll impact Sony. It's such a strange time. Everyone's eating everyone else, and it's like we're refining the pool.
Yeah, it is a little bit crazy. Well, speaking of Sony, Sony Trackers, anybody? Have you seen those?
Yeah. I want these. I'm going to try them. So these are, well, they've been out. I think they were announced kind of around the same time-ish. PlayStation VR 2 was announced, but they weren't available in the States. So now they're available. I want to try them. They're so cute and so small. And I'm interested because I've seen a lot of the side-by-side. I mean, you can use them on mobile.
Maybe you can tell everybody more about them because most people probably don't know what these are, but these are the Sony Mocopi trackers, or Mocopi.
These are full body trackers. You can actually pair them with your phone. Now realizing this, I'm like, oh man, I had to dig out an old iPhone that I don't use for anything that I just have to use for this, but that's okay. I'll do it. And I've heard that you can actually use these in VR chat with OSC. So these might be a good alternative if you have like those, like me, you still have the bulky Vive trackers. They're bulky, but they still work. So I can't say much more because I don't have them, so I can't. I know Thrill. I think he did a good video covering it. I haven't watched too much because I don't want to see spoilers in case I do get them. But this could be a decent alternative. I know we're always looking for something smaller, less in the way. So I don't know, little thing that I'm excited for. I'm glad that it's finally in the States and that they're still so far supporting them. See how long.
I have only tried full body tracking maybe once or twice, so I don't really have that capability at home, although I really need it because I just like it's so weird not being able to have your legs move in the same way that your real body's moving. And it's even weirder, by the way, that there's no legs in some places, but that's besides the point here. But yeah, I am pretty excited for these. I did watch those video, and the one thing he said was these trackers are specifically focused for motion tracking, and for motion tracking it's really good, but they're not, the app itself is not specifically designed for VR chat, so they don't work as well as something like the slime trackers. But if you hack them, I guess you can get them to work really well. I just don't know how to hack them, so I don't think that that's an option for me.
I'm sure, like, there's stuff on GitHub. People are insanely crazy about the modifications they do, so I'm sure it's out there. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can see if it's phone versus using something like having the base stations to track the physical trackers, and that's still going to be higher quality, but I just want something smaller.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I was just thinking, you work at Live, so full body tracking stuff is like totally in your realm of the world.
Yeah, it's funny because I had when we're doing stuff with the Live store, so people, it's a marketplace basically where you can either buy or sell avatars for VR chat or what have you. So a lot of times for marketing, I will just go in like a VR chat world with my trackers and have someone's avatar and just like do all these poses and stuff. I'm doing like my own mini photo shoot as an avatar. It's so funny. I have to do like a behind the scenes of that sometimes. It's ridiculous.
You should. That sounds really funny.
That sounds cool.
So I just like couch, but I have to adjust the floor of the play space sometimes because like the couch in the couch in a VR chat might not be right, so I'm just all awkwardly splayed out, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is a door closed session. Nobody's allowed to see, IRL Adam when she's posing as an avatar in VR chat.
Behind the scenes video, exclusive.
What do you think about having trackers that would have haptics in them?
That'd be cool. You could definitely do that. I think the size is interesting. I don't know what the inside looks like. I assume there's most of the space is occupied by maybe battery. But
probably
I think the form factor is like looks like a skateboard wheel. I don't know if it's like smaller than that, but
I'm trying to think. Cool. I think the Vive trackers have sort of haptics. I think if you're like when you do the Find My Tracker button, I think it does a little zzz, either that or it's a cult like of the flashing of the top. But I swear it's a vibration. But now it's driving me crazy that I don't know for sure. But I think it does have sort of haptic capabilities. It's not meant for that use case, but it has something. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe someone in chat will correct me and be like, "You're so wrong." Dumb.
Yeah, that'd be sweet because it's at like the major pivot points, so like that what you need. So it's like wrist, legs, like. So I think it'd be really cool. It's just a matter of getting like a decent amount of haptics where it's something that's not going to bug you. It might be strange if it's like really kind of like this form factor of cheap haptics is going to be kind of more of like a phone motor, which it accelerates or it's good at high pitched buzzing, which isn't necessarily the best kind of haptic effects for something for immersion, because you can imagine it's just like receiving notifications over and over again. So yeah, I'd be curious. Maybe there's ways that you could adapt the form factor to have more advanced haptics and then do some really crazy stuff with it.
Will that feel weird on your bone though, if it's like on your elbow and you're like buzz?
On your elbow, maybe. Yeah. Funny bone, your arm just goes wild.
Yeah.
It's gotta be strategic.
So Pimax Crystal is now available for purchase. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't had the greatest experience with Pimax. Not the product, but just the company. I don't know. Like when I went to go try it out, it was CES or one of those events. Like they left me with a volunteer who didn't know anything about anything. I was asking him basic questions like FOV, and just he handed me the wrong controller in the wrong hand when I had the headset on. So I was like, what the hell? It felt wrong. So eventually I fixed it myself. And then he like walked away when I needed help. It was awful. So I don't know. Pimax is interesting, but I'm still kind of, there's the experience I had left a bad taste in my mouth.
I've actually never tried it, so I'm super curious. I don't have experience with it at all, so I'd love to know.
I tried these Pro. Yeah, I tried these at CES, and holy moly, the graphics in these are gorgeous. They remind me of like the Vario Aero. Like they look really, really good. But they're freaking huge. They're enormous. And when you have headsets out there that is like the Beyond, like the big screen Beyond, which is so tiny that it looks like little tiny swimming goggles, why would you want something so big?
So cool. Yeah, it's adorable. It's true.
Yeah, unless you really need the graphics to be that deep. Like I know for Vario, the reason why people use that headset is because they're working in the industry, they're modelers, they really need that like really crisp, graphics to do their job. And so that's why they use it. But
did you get to try their what is it, the portal? Not that it's not derailing too much, but the Pimax portal is kind of like the Switch where you can go between VR and TV and their little Switch-like device thing.
I did not get to try that. No, I only got to try I was really tired. Look, this was at CES, and at this point, it had been like many, many days of walking nonstop until my feet were, I was like, just put the stupid headset out of my face. Let's just get this out of the way. I was so tired. But then I was like, oh, wow, this was so worth it. This is really nice. But like heavy, big, I'm not sure. And then the other thing too, when I did try the Vario Aero before, I had the opportunity to borrow one for like a month and really just try a bunch of different things on it. And the problem is the graphics are so good that it's too good for what the developers have created. So things that, it should look even better, but all of a sudden it's just like, man, now this looks really like I don't know. Do you remember that episode of SpongeBob where they were like doodling on a piece of paper and it would come out and they were like, like cavemen or something? That's what it felt like. It felt like the graphics were too good that I just was looking at paper.
It's sad after you use one too, and then you go back to, your regular home VR headset, whether that's like an Index or Quest or whatever, and you're like, it's not as good. It was so clear. I don't know. It's so sad afterwards, but it's okay. I'm never gonna be able to afford one. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if anyone in chat think that they will buy a Pimax crystal. Any takers? I mean, we are starting to see like better and better graphics in games, especially with like PlayStation, right? With PSVR 2, because that has the ability to have really nice graphics. A lot of these games are starting to, make things that look a lot nicer. So I don't know how difficult it is to convert your game from something that works on PlayStation versus on like PC VR. But
I don't know. I feel like it's nice that we have a lot of options out there. So I don't know. So far, it seems like most people are no. And big screen beyond, I'm still very tempted by big screen. So yeah, like that's a good point. There's other smaller headsets for PC VR. It's like, why would I want? I don't know. There's just other options out there, and with companies that I like better. So.
I haven't had a bad experience with Pimax. I've heard stories, but me personally, like I was fine. They've been very nice to me, and they did not give me the wrong controllers when I did the demo. So it was pretty fine. I thought that was the one headset from them that I've tried, and absolutely, it was so beautiful. Like blew it out of the water. Because when I tried the Vario Aero a while back, I was thinking, man, there is no way in like the next year or so that any of these headset companies can even compare to how good this looks. And then a couple months later, I went and tried the crystal. I was like, no, I was wrong. Well, that's good. I'm glad that everything's improving now.
Everything's going so fast. But actually, I saw, to change topics a little bit, there was mention of the Meta subscription thing, which I did want to bring up too.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to talk about that.
We can't forget this time because we're only a once a month podcast. So these opportunities are rare for us people. But so MetaQuest, you may have seen a couple weeks ago or so, they now have a subscription service.
Yeah.
Now, I think right for like $1 or $2, but normally it's going to be like it's like $8. There we go. Thoughts?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I am not sure how I feel about it at the moment. It's not good for anyone that has a bunch of games already. Because, for example, this first month, the games that they have is like Pixel Rip 1995 and Pistol Whip, which, by the way, those two games sound so similar. Pixel Whip. anyway. I was like, I just, after I said that, I just thought in my mind, did I ever say the same thing twice? No, I don't think so. But right, so like most of us, if you've been playing VR for a while, already have those 2 games, so it might not be a good option for us people. But I think it could be a really great option for new people, especially if you're someone that doesn't know what to get. You're like, I'm new, I don't have time, I'm like living my life, and I just want to be able to do something when I'm done with work or when I'm done with school or whatever, without having to do the research.
I've said this once before, but I'll say it again. I just like, I've never done any of the other subscription services on other platforms, just because I like having my games to myself. Or I mean, I want to be able to keep them and know that I have them forever until said platform dies or whatever. I can't access them anymore. I mean, I think it's an interesting trial for them to see how this works out. And yeah, I don't think it's going to probably appeal to most of us listening who are the irregulars, the super VR enthusiasts. But maybe, I don't know. I'm curious to see where this is going to go, but it's probably not for me, but we shall see.
Yeah, I was a subscriber to the Vive, I think it was called Infinity
Vive
service.
Port. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had that for, I think, a year. And I think that's the different model is like it's $15 a month or $10 a month around there. They have different tiers now. And you can pick between just all of their content and be able to play it. And then they would like remove some content and then you would lose it. And I think that was interesting because it was like a more of like a Netflix type of service where it's like you could just test out things, which I think was really good, especially as someone, like you guys said, is new. I think that's where you need to be able to try stuff. And I think when a service doesn't make it easy to return content and requires you to like not be in the headset and you have to kind of have a whole other step and you don't like it, I think that's where there's like, it's kind of annoying for consumers because I want to try, but you're going to make it a pain for me to return something if it's not good for me or makes me sick. So yeah, I think it's interesting also because I don't know how it affects developers. Like developers make money from getting a cut of their game, right? But if their game is now like super cheap and it's not really being purchased, like I don't know what that means for them. So I'd be kind of curious to ask someone who is a developer, like, is it bad for you if the game is on sale or like is part of that? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, was it like a deal up front? Like, we're going to prepay for X number of copies, or is it a like per purchase you get, percentage off? That's a good question because I don't know.
I personally actually think that this is really good for developers because there's a lot of people, especially if it's one big title and one hidden gem. I think that model makes a lot of sense because you're tempted by the big title and then they also sneak in something in there. So these games that would probably not have been discovered by people otherwise are all of a sudden getting purchased, even though it's a much cheaper, it's like $4 per game now at this point. It's still being quote unquote purchased, even though you're really just borrowing it. And these developers are getting like however many people are subscribed to this, that's how much, it's in volumes. So it's the trade-off between volume versus the cost.
Eric's here and he donated 10.
Thanks, Eric. He said 3 of my favorite people. You are all awesome. Sorry I'm late. Unacceptable, but okay. I guess you gave us money. We forgive you. We can be bribed into forgiveness.
I'm so used to typing in chat, but I forgot that it types as you. But it's like, well, we have the same name, so it's kind of, as long as I don't say anything bad, right? it's me, Jasmine. I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, so Foodies did ask, so what is the value for her investment? And that's one of the things with this is you don't get to keep the games forever. Like what you said, Ashley, the Vive Port was a really cool model because it's like Netflix, you get access to a huge library. Even if you only play like 1 or 2 games for that whole month, like still there's a chance if you didn't like any of the games, you can play 10, you can play 20, you can play one game a different game every minute of the day if you want it, right? So there's like a lot more opportunities. So that part where it disappears if you don't have your subscription. So that's how it works for the Meta Quest Plus is if you cancel your subscription, then any of the games that you've acquired through the subscriptions like disappear and you can get them back only if you subscribe again.
Well, I guess to be fair, then what's the like longevity of most VR games? Like, unless it's something like, I don't know if Xen is a good example, or even Population 1, like what are the chances that you are actually going to go back and replay the game? Which sounds sad, but like I think for a lot of us, would have a lot of time. is kind of a one and done, and then you never touch it again. So I guess on that side, I could see how maybe this would be not a big deal, depending on what games that they put up there.
With this one, like let's take the first month as an example. We have Pixel Ripped, and then Pixel Whipped, Pistol Ripped. That's what Chris. I know. Oh, wait, what am I saying? Why did they pick these two games? Come on, there's so many other ones. But
this moment right now.
Oh gosh, the one with the pew pew. That one is one that you can play over and over again. Versus Pixel Ripped. 1995 is a fixed game. Now, whether like that you'll be able to finish it in a month's time frame, I don't know, because that game's freaking hard if you've played it. The puzzles in that are quite complicated. It's a really good game, though. You should play it. And if you feel like rage quitting, it's okay. Me too. Just keep going. It's fine. It's worth it.
Pistol Whip, right? I'm not even sure.
Oh no, you too.
Like content updates and DLCs and new maps and stuff. I wonder how that works. I'm assuming you'll get access to like the free DLCs, right? Maybe, or is like a specific old version.
Yeah, that would be interesting, right? So if you had Synth Riders on there, which has a zillion like
music packs,
yeah, that would be cool if it was available, and then you had access to all of them. You play them once, and you're like, right, done. Or you realize that you like it, and then you want to buy. Yeah, I know, and not done.
Yeah, there's no way. That's too good. Yeah, they'll be like that's cute, but no. That's
what would happen is you get Synth Riders, and then you have to buy the DLCs separately, but then you have to keep your subscription because otherwise you can't use your DLCs. DLCs for the base game. It's evil.
That's funny. Brand did say 90% of VR games are one and dones, which is true. Yeah, there's only a handful that you play over and over again. So I guess with those, either you keep your subscription or you just buy the game out right after.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, moving on. We've got this is kind of not really VR related, but I know that you mentioned
this.
and we kind of probably a lot of us have seen it on Twitter. It's the dang Vegas sphere thing. I think that is so cool and going to cause so many.
Oh my gosh! When it was tiny, it looked like a worm.
What?
Yeah, when it was tiny, before you made it big, it looked like a worm. Yeah, I was like, "What are you showing me? Is this like a biology class?"
It's the sphere. I when I was you were there too. When we were in Vegas for CES, they were still kind of working on this thing, so you could see.
I don't remember.
Well, did you take the trams? Because sometimes the trams sort of went around there from the hotel to the center.
I think I was like asleep or like nursing my aching feet. It's one of those.
I mean, it wasn't on, but they had it there and it was under construction. But I guess now they're actually starting to turn it on and do testing. So I'm like, I want to go back to Vegas. Vegas has such cool stuff. It's a terrible place, but I love it.
Oh, I do not want to go back to Vegas.
I'm actually super hyped about this thing though, because like I know it's just like an external view now, but like reading into it, they're mentioning that it's going to be super experiential. So they're going to include things like scent.
That would be cool. Oh, yeah,
so it's like scent, and then they'll have haptics, similar to like if you've been to a movie theater that has haptics, where they have.
Oh my gosh.
They're gonna have that, so it's gonna be like just like loud, beautiful
inside it, right?
Yeah, inside it.
Yeah. Man, can you imagine? Like, so with VR right now, like if you were playing VR next to somebody in real life, it's kind of a little weird. You might hit each other a little bit, right? And like you feel like you're together in VR, but when you're doing it in real life together, it's a little weird. But if you're playing VR with someone that's not next to you, it is cool. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, this like little dome thing, this huge dome thing, this sphere. This Vegas sphere is going to be like VR, but in person, because you're all in a huge immersive dome together and you get to have the sense and the haptics.
It's like shows are going to happen. I didn't really know what happens inside. Is it like events then and shows and things, or?
I assume it's like just like experiential content. I'd imagine like movies, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But events would be cool. Really cool.
Sorry, I'll keep it PG.
We have another topic that is it's kind of VR-ish. It's kind of XR topic. But me and Adam are like, we really like AI. We think AI is so cool. It's so useful. Like you just have your assistant that's AI that does stuff. And I mean, it's kind of, it kind of spits out weird phrases at some point, and you're like, which time period in the history of the universe did you pick this verbiage from? But it can be pretty cool. So there's this whole thing that I saw on Threads recently with someone saying at some point loneliness will be solved, because if you have VR and you have AI that seems so realistic that it's like a real human being that you're talking to, that you can hang out with, remembers all your conversations. I don't know. What do y'all think about this?
Ooh, this is a deep one.
I don't know if we're there yet where it's realistic enough where I would actually want to hang out like with an AI. And I mean, you've seen, maybe I'll have to bring it up while one of you guys is talking, but for some reason there's like two that come to mind for VR specifically, and they're all like waifu related. It's like, oh, either one of them I think is hooked up to ChatGPT so you can have a conversation with this waifu, and then in another one you can have her like walk around your room, whatever. I don't know why both of them are anime themed. It appeals to a very specific audience, but I don't know. Maybe once we get more like higher versions of ChatGPT, because they still sound, even when you get voice cloning, the dictation that they are spitting out still sounds not like normal speech. Like how we pause awkwardly sometimes, or stutter, or have just weird imperfections, and it's like a little too perfect. Like I'm not gonna go over to my Google Hub and be like, "Hey, how's it going today, Google?" It's great.
But what if Google? Okay, we're talking about like in a couple of years from now, like 5-10 years from now, when it is really refined, and you say, "Okay, hey Google, how's your day today?" Like, "Oh, hey Adam, it was really good. I remember that you did this yesterday. How did that go?"
I mean, I'm not against it.
Mm-hmm. And what if it was a really fluffy, cute bear or something that was something, I don't know,
Dude, AI virtual pets. I mean, I wouldn't want it talking like any
in full sentences. Yeah, you want it to be a little bit.
I still want it to be an animal, but if it was smart enough to, I don't know, that's a whole other subject. I'd be like, oh my god, I would love some kind of AI virtual pet thing.
Yeah, like a Therapuppy. Foodies donated $2. Thank you so much. I believe will replace companionship. Right. So, I mean, yeah, right. So if it was a pet, so I don't know if you've seen that show Upload on Amazon. Have you seen it? It's like that really future. Okay,
So
Ashley's
good.
seen it. Adam,
I have not. I'm sorry.
Adam. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm so embarrassed for you. All right, let's pull this up. Can you look up Upload on Amazon? Just show people what it looks like while I talk about it. But basically, it's like it's set in a futuristic setting. And honestly, the first episode was way better, or the first season was way better than the future ones. But it's like futuristic, where you can upload your consciousness when you die into like a metaverse, essentially. Yeah, it looks like this, and it's super futuristic. Yeah, like they have the cars that are self-driving, and like, I mean, it can get a little raunchy in the cars.
Stop before we go straight.
Anyway, so when one of the people get uploaded into the metaverse, basically because he died, he had to go to therapy, and the therapist was a dog that was talking, because why not? You're in the metaverse, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, a delightful golden retriever that you could just like cut. Like he probably didn't cuddle, but yeah, super adorable.
And the guy was asking, why is my therapist like a dog? And they said, well, because you're more likely to be, chatty and open-minded and open to talking about stuff to a puppy. So anyway, what if this AI and VR loneliness thingy was with pets instead of waifus?
I don't know. I'm a sucker for anything pet related. So I mean, even just, what was it, like all the different phone apps and stuff there is. But I don't know. But then I guess you have to look at the flip side. What would happen to actual pets? I guess on the good side, maybe people, like, we won't have as many shelter animals, or might have a lot of them because nobody's getting real pets anymore. That'd be the other extreme. It's just hard to say. I mean, I don't dislike AI. I love AI. I've like embraced AI in just so many different ways. But I don't know yet how I feel about it being a companion. I think that we're going to see a lot more AI VTubers, and that could be interesting, because then you're developing sort of what feels like a personal relationship with someone who's not really real. I guess there's someone puppeting them, but their responses are not like, I don't want to say not real, because they're real, but not, I don't know how to describe it. So I think there's definitely going to be a place for it. It'll be interesting to see.
I'm just not sure it's going to be like the de facto thing that solves the need for companionship, because I think like once you disconnect from these things and you step out, I feel like it's going to like make you feel more lonely. There's a chance it could be, because you're just,
what if you never step out?
Is so well that
that's a problem.
Not an option yet, but I'm sure people might choose that, right?
Yeah,
I think it's beautiful and interesting, but it's also at the same time, tough. It's tough, like
especially in a use for personal assistance. Like I would love to actually have I guess not a physical, but some sort of a avatar personal assistant that you can bounce ideas off, like ChatGPT in avatar.
But a person,
maybe not as a wife. But you could pick.
Not as a. But what if it was a husbando? That's what fellow asked. What if it was a husbando, though, Adam? Is that better?
I don't know. Is he like a shirtless anime dude? Like, what are we talking here?
What's gonna make you more effective? That's really what you
what's
gonna make you more effective in your life, in your job,
and happier, more content? What are you gonna respond better to?
I'll tell you that.
Oh gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, my thoughts on this is I'm like, it's interesting, but it's also very dystopian, as some people have said. It's definitely creepy, and it makes you like feel really sad a little bit. It makes me almost like, the thought of this makes me not want to go into VR, believe it or not, because I'm just like, oh, is that where I'm headed? Oh god, maybe I need to go back to the real world and touch some grass.
It's like one of those things where they say, remember our parents used to say, don't sit so close to the TV, and then here we are putting VR screens like right up to our eyes.
Closer. Yeah, it's interesting though, like, because I noticed with my mom using her own like smart devices like Google, Amazon, like she talks to it as if it's in sentence form, as if it's a person.
Yeah, that's so true. That is totally what the older generation people do.
My mom does we don't tend to do that. Yeah. We're more curt, where it's like you would tell us to do something and we expect to do it. And sometimes I'll just say thank you to it just for the sake of like, am I a dick? Is this being recorded? Like, noted, I'm not a horrible human.
Sometimes my husband curses at it when it does the wrong thing, and I'm like, you're going to be the first one to die when they decide to upgrade. Thank you, just in case. You never know.
Yeah. My husband does the same when it goes, I'm sorry, or something, or like, hey, I can't help you with that, or something. I don't know. They always respond back with something snarky. It's quite funny.
Kame Tube says, I have a mild allergy to cats. I want a cat. So yeah, I think if you can't have a pet or you're in some remote place, like having some kind of companion, it does make a lot of sense.
And if you use like the haptics from Titan Haptics,
sense of touch. Yeah, I feel like you're being hugged. Feels like a cat purring. That's real.
There was actually a thing like that at CES that I saw this past year. It was like a pillow that can breathe and can purr. And it looks like shaped and looked like, like a little flat animal. It was so relaxing. I thought it was the weirdest thing. It's like, why would you want to have a pillow that breathes? But actually it's supposed to calm you down, because when you hug it, your body mimics like the breathing and the heart rate, and it actually slows you down and calms you down. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's one of the interesting use cases of haptics. Yeah, it can actually do that. Your heart rate can mimic it. And that's great for even like a terrifying situation where you're playing a video game, like a horror video game. If they have the haptics that have an accelerated heartbeat, it's just going to make you panic even more.
Oh, yeah. I'm already panicking just thinking about this. Horror games. Speaking of games, Pixel Ripped and Demio combination. Did you see that? Look at this artwork.
What does this mean? I mean, they're Pixel Ripped and Demio pairing up, but do you know specifically how? Like, are we going to see her and Demio as a Demio character? Or
I was really hoping that would have been the case, because I freaking love Demio. I love Demio, and I've just been like, come on! I've been bugging Resolution Games saying, please release another map for the love of. I've been like going crazy. And then I saw this, and I thought that was what it was going to be. That Pixel Ripped, like at least a new character, maybe a new map. That would be cool. But at the moment, it is that there's Demio characters hidden throughout Pixel Ripped. So it was just so pretty cool. It's like it's very reminiscent of what Pixel Ripped does. Pixel Ripped always has hidden gems in their games, right? So this was, I thought, really cool. But like, please make a map of Pixel Ripped and Demio and make a Dot a playable character. That would be so cool.
Oh, I can see so many collaboration ideas with Demio working with other games, and having like
every
Pixel
game
themed map, or I don't know, like Half-Life Alyx theme. That would never happen, but like different different campaign styles with different. Hire me for marketing. Get me on there.
Get her on that.
There we go.
Like Demio is just such a freaking good game, and there's so many things they can do. Resolution just does too many other things. Like they should just not do anything else and only do Demio. I mean, I would buy, even if they charge for the maps and stuff, I'll pay for it. I don't care. I'll buy it. Yeah, just give it to me. I want it faster. I want one every single week so I can play it with with my group and can all have a great time.
You know what they should do? They should do a Pixel Ripped collaboration. Just to confuse everybody.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Look like, but just mess with everybody.
And it's just going to be called Pistol Ripped.
Or Pixel Whipped.
Yeah, Pixel Whipped. Pretty good.
Yeah.
What are some games you all have been playing lately?
Me, I'm like super dedicated to Walkabout Mini-Putt. My obsession continues. Like that's a game where
Walkabout Mini-Putt? Is that a different one, or was it? You mean Walkabout Mini Golf?
Oh yeah, Mini Golf. Sorry, is it not Mini
Golf?
Whatever it is, it's amazing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a different game this whole time. Okay.
No. So it's like they continue to just release new maps. They're super cost effective. So I think that's one of the kind of methods of being able to give a company more money for new content that I appreciate a lot, and I'm definitely willing to. Same with like fishing. A huge fan of real VR fishing. It's super enchanting. I can listen to music, just chill and fish.
We should go fishing in real VR fishing together.
It would be cool. You could do the pre-podcast planning meetings while you're fishing.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a nice idea. Actually, I played. Oh gosh, I'm still kicking myself for this, by the way. But I finally played real VR fishing for the first time this past weekend. I was like, "What the f is wrong with me?" I was so mad at myself because everyone kept talking about it. I was like, "Oh, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, whatever." Like that's what I kept thinking. And then finally got it this weekend, played it, and yeah, I get it. And wow, why didn't anyone force me into this sooner?
I even have, it sounds very silly, but I have this like Quest accessory that acts like a fishing rod. So you just put the controller in one and then the other one like magnetically sticks so you could take it apart if you need to. But it's got the wheel, so you can just do, I can't use it with my current grips because it has to work with the default controller. That's how dorky I got about the VR fishing. Because
that is pretty dorky. I want to see your aquarium.
Like that's what I love too, is you can customize all that stuff. But speaking of fishing, though, since I really loved real VR fishing, I tried Galactic Catch. I keep calling it a Galactic Fish and Galactic Catching.
I know.
The name wrong, and I feel bad. But I tried that one, which I will say is if you've played real VR fishing, mechanics are the same. But I like it because you can, like, the fish are interesting. You get to catch really just weird-looking alien fish, and I like that because when you get to, like, when you're trying to reel them in and you get to see them jump out of the water and stuff, I'm like, ew. I don't know. It makes
Have you played it, Ashley?
I haven't, but I'm curious to check it out.
You definitely need to try it. Yeah, even Goddess Robin in chat said that they've played Galactic Catch. But yeah, it's like a fishing game, but you're a robot and you're fishing in an alien planet. So the fish that you pick up are like really weird looking, exactly as Adam said. And I remember watching, like, both I made a video about this, and I watched this video on YouTube and I like laughed my butt off so hard the whole time whenever he'd like pick up. Oh gosh, it's so good. You just have to watch this video, but a fish would come out and he'd reel it in and he's like, "Oh, look at this, a face only a mother could love." Like, some of the things he was saying cracked me up. Like the things he said about the fish, he's like, "Oh, this fish looks like it got into a big cage fight and and won." Like, it was so funny. But yeah, the fish in this is really interesting. So it's definitely worth trying out. The other thing too with this I found out is, so the main characters in the very beginning, there's like this little scene where it's like this, the lore of the game. If you paid attention, it's actually the mac and cheese character from that animated VR thing, the free one called Invasion, the one with the bunny. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yeah, cool. It's an extension of their storyline. Yeah, it's actually if you watch the very beginning sequence of Galactic Catch, it is the same exact aliens that they have. It's the same by the same studio. And what I noticed recently too that I thought was really cool was because I've just been on a binge of like watching animated VR stuff lately. I'm making a video about that, by the way, which is why I've been doing it. But so one of the animated films that same studio made is called Bonfire. And I remember I was fishing in Galactic Hatch making lures, and I was like, shut up. I like freaked out when I realized that one of the lures is from that animated app that they've made. So I think that the studio is trying to cross all of their different, like all of their apps / movies / games to each other in like a Marvel-esque type of way.
Heck yeah.
There's no one in the chat to show the art book. I've been told that there's some kind of art book and that it is amazing.
Hang on, I gotta get it.
The man
dropping all caps.
All caps. Very serious business.
Serious factor.
Cool. I'm a sucker for game art books. I don't always buy them, but for certain ones, I'll splurge a little.
Yeah.
Fine, we will show the art book. Okay.
Show us.
You all are not prepared for this art book, and I am so sorry to all the audio listeners. You'll just have to listen to my very poor description of it. But that's
hardcover.
It's huge. It's huge. Wow. And it has a lot of words. It's a real book.
Oh, it's a book. So it's not really just an art book. It's a book. There's words in it.
Actual
I need to like actually post this, but it talks all about like their animation studio and how different characters came to life, and they have like all the different ones that they've made in here. Let's see if I can find mac and cheese. Yeah, it was really cool.
So cool.
Yeah, so anyway, I'll probably make a little post about this later because it's a nice book. But yeah, and it has words.
So to anyone like listening, it's a book. A book has pages in it, and you can read out of it. Just
and words and other stuff. Okay, so Brand has kept asking us this whole time. He says, "What is Titan Haptics, Ashley? Nobody knows."
It's such a secret. No big secret. So Titan Haptics, we basically make advanced haptic motors. So the haptic motors that you find inside of different kinds of technology, we've created a version that is based off of magnetics. So it doesn't contain any springs or doesn't spin. So our secret sauce is magnetism, and it works kind of like a maglev train. So there's a hammer inside of it that goes back and forth that hovers within this magnetic field. But the cool part about it is it can make a whole bunch of different type of haptic effects in one motor. So you could do like deep rumbles like you'd get from a gaming controller. You can do like high frequency stuff like your phone, but in a single motor. And so we're working with partners like Striker VR to build like really badass experiences. Yeah, so they have it in their cool blaster, so you can feel just like, an ultimate kind of like Terminator vibe. But we work with all different types of companies, and VR is my happy space. Same with XR, so I want to integrate it into all the things. So if anyone needs haptics or even just has questions about haptics, you can reach out to me.
Do you like make anything that people can buy directly, or do you mostly just work with people?
We work with people, so other companies that build stuff, because it's like we're experts at haptics, and then they're experts at all their things like gaming controllers, mice, all those fun things. So there's a lot of projects.
Oh, go ahead.
There's not a lot of projects I can talk about, because it's like the kind of fun thing about being in haptics is people don't want people to know who made it, and so this is the Striker VR blaster, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's like this really fancy.
I want it.
It's so I tried this. Oh gosh, I can't remember anymore because I go to so many freaking shows. But I tried it at Anyway, it was at some after party at someone's house, and they brought this over. Yeah. Yeah, and it was it was so good. I didn't know that was you, Ashley. You go, girl.
Yeah, tons of different effects. So it's like it feels like realistic. So no matter what, like if you change your gun within game, like it should feel different. It shouldn't be just buzzing. And I think that's kind of like the state of haptics today is there's like a lot of rudimentary motors that just give you the same haptic effect on and off. And
so
the future of haptics as we see it. Yeah, it's like we want it to like feel realistic. Like designers create cool stuff. Like their games are insane. Like how do you like even fathom that? And I think we want to be able to like fathom the haptic effects that they are envisioning and be able to bring that to life so that people can feel the game in new ways rather than just like buzz. buzz. Like, that's not it. Let's step it up. So yeah, that's what we do.
Dang. Any other like VR companies that you work with that you can tell us about, or even non-VR companies, or is it you'll tell us but you'll have to kill us kind of thing?
Basically. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We recently showed off a demo lightsaber, which is super sweet. That feels like a realistic lightsaber. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. I'll have to get you.
Where do we get it?
Yeah, like, where do we get it? Events or something where we could? How do we try these?
Yeah, we typically go to like all the major VR events. I didn't have the lightsaber with me this last one, unfortunately, but I will at the next ones. I will bring it with me. But we brought it to SVVR, which was really cool. So we got a bunch of my favorite geeks to test it out. So we've got some crazy footage of people just like showing off their lightsaber skills. There's a lot of people with cool skills. Let me tell you, with VR or with lightsaber skills, it's astonishing. It's very cool.
Well, since we're already asking you a bunch of questions, I guess we can dive on into the special Ashley segment of the show. Which I'm so excited about. But okay, sad that you can't tell us more VR stuff, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll see it at some events.
Can you just tell us when we can get like a Ready Player One haptic suit thing? That's what fellows ask. It's like, I mean, come on, you Titan Haptics is, we know that you're working with some peoples, and I don't know who those people are, but soon.
Well, there's tons of like cool products out there right now that people can try. Like Haptics is a good example of like a fun haptic experience. It's already got game integrations. There's like Subpack, which is another one that's focused on music. There's gaming chairs that are coming out. So there's a lot of cool haptic experiences that you can test out. But yeah, I'll have to keep you posted on stuff that I can't talk about. But yeah, just kind of.
I won't tell anybody. Just everybody here.
Yeah,
and anyone that listens after us. That's it. I promise.
No big deal. No big deal.
So you are Miss Busybody. You're kind of everywhere when it comes to haptics, or at least it seems like it. I see you at one event talking at something, and then she's like, "Oh, there she is again." Mm-hmm. But so you are the founder of a haptics newsletter and the co-founder of the Haptics Club. The Haptics Club podcast. I'm going to say that properly. What kind of your inspiration behind doing both? I mean, Queen of Haptics, I must know.
Yeah. Oh man, the newsletter came out of the fact that I love to learn about what's happening, and I'm curious like what other people are doing. And so it really was just, I'm doing all this interesting research anyways. Like I want to check out what new products are out there so I can try them. And I just realized looking for a haptics newsletter that it didn't exist. Like it's not a thing. So I was like, damn, I really wish this was a thing. So it just ended up being like, I'm already looking up stuff. I might as well just check it out and build it. And so it's come a long way. I think I'm really proud of the types of folks that I have as readers, because I cover a lot of different subjects. It's not just like nerdy haptics academia, but I do cover everything from like interesting patents that, our favorite companies are working on to new announcements. I cover a lot in the VR space, and so that's something close to my heart. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then the Haptics Club came out of a group of us nerds who just wanted to kind of like share more with the community, because haptics is like, it's a small niche area, but it has a big impact on that's a haptics thing. I keep doing that, but it has a lot of impact on the world of like creativity. And so we wanted people to know more about it. So we came together as a group, and our goal is just to like interview the coolest people. I've had like Alex PR on, my friends from the makers of Waltz of the Wizard, the CEO of Ultra Leap. Yeah, so I get to like live out my nerdy fantasies of meeting the people I adore, but also people I just respect in the space who are doing cool things. It's competitive, but at the same time, the end goal for all of us is epic content. And if we can't get to creating epic content, then none of us have done a justice to anything. So I think that's what, similar to the VR space in general, we can all fight about it. We can bitch about how bad things are, and how expensive things are, and how terrible people are. But it's like there's no point if we can all just kind of come together and do our things, and it's unique in its own way. Then it'll be a much better space.
Yeah, it's kind of the same in every industry, right? Like everyone complains about it, but we still overall we want it to become more mainstream, more widely used, whatever the it is, whether it's haptics or VR. But that's really cool. I love when people are able to find something that seems so specific, but in a way that's good, because there are, like you said, other people looking for this thing, a way to talk about haptics that just doesn't exist because it is quote unquote too specific. So that makes you so happy. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Co-founder of such a big company. What do you do in these like super secret haptic club of yours?
Well, it's like Fight Club. So we can't talk about Fight Club, certain rules. But it's really just, it's a bunch of different types of people, and I think that's what's magical about it. There's a lot of people with a background in academia who have turned into companies. There's a lot of people who have no background in haptics at all, similar to me. Like, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an academic, I didn't come from 10 years of school, but it's like just all different types of people that bring a different mindset and a focus, that are just really excited about the space. And so we just kind of converse and battle about different topics. We talk about hand tracking is one of those like weird contentious topics where everyone seems to have a different opinion on it, which I love. It's like, that's great.
So how do people, go ahead.
How do people subscribe to your like newsletter? Is that,
Yes, I should probably mention that. So my newsletter is, I think it's haptics.substack.com. Oh, you got the please see the feed. So this is how. So the hapticsclub.com. And then I'm at Chick Tech in terms of my Twitter feed currently.
I do have one last question for you. Hopefully this is a fun one. Hopefully it's stuff you can actually talk about. But is there anything, like any exciting uses of haptics that you've seen or come across or that you're looking forward to? I think, and I know we kind of touched on it at the beginning with maybe the sphere, but any other things that you've seen out there?
Yeah, I think the movie experience one's just a good one. It already exists. Like D-Box creates haptic seats. Those are really cool. If I saw Dune in theaters with that, and it was insanity. But in terms of like cool stuff, I think the place where I get a lot of inspiration from is white papers, stuff that no one wants to read who isn't in the space. And so I see a lot of things like interesting wearable technology with haptics, things that are integrating different types of haptic effects. Like it could be heat and cold, squeezing, pinching, like stuff that would be really, really cool in virtual reality. And that's really diving closer to the Ready Player One and that Amazon Prime show that we were talking about. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. I think with VR, it needs to be a big audience, and for people to justify the time spent and be able to get to make sure that this stuff is safe enough to for the public to play with is the other side of it. Because it gets
safe enough. What do you mean?
Well, some things could hurt you, pinch you in a way that could hurt really bad, or squeeze you in a way that you don't like. And when you have something that could potentially do those things, then it's really tough to turn that into an end product that could pass all the different kind of regulations. But I think there's ways that we could do it. People could do it. You're seeing some vests and things coming out. I was creating like a vest that's based on kind of like more electrical side of haptics, which is really cool. So they can replicate things like from poking to, I think one of their selling points was stabbing. A lot of pain. Yeah, that was one of those.
It was very painful.
Yeah. There's CES had a lot of different haptic stuff. I think that was one of them that I tried. But you mentioned the heat one too, and I tried that one too, where it's like ceramic plates or something, and you stick your fingers in there, and it will change the plate, so you could touch like an ice cube. And again, I don't know how the science behind it or whatever the tech stuff, but yeah, it would be cold, and then you'd put your hand over like a candle, whatever, and it would get hot. But yeah, you have to have limits to these things, otherwise
it can be very dangerous. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Great for training, great for like reality, but yeah, in terms of just general consumer use, it's like if someone else was controlling that, I don't know. I trust you ladies, but there's some people that'd be like, no, I don't know about that.
Like fire? Yeah, well, yes, we'll turn up the heat a little.
It's kind of have you seen those things where it simulates getting menstrual cramps and stuff? And so when the guys try it, they always like try to crank it up all the way to the highest, or whoever's doing it to them.
Wasn't there like a giving birth sort of simulator thing, sort of like that too, out there somewhere? Yeah.
Sounds. Yeah, we're like, it's nothing, but yeah, for many people it'd be like, this is the end of the world. Why would you want this? Funny.
Okay, I have a request. This is from both you and chat. I've come up with a little mini game. Hopefully it's okay that it's mini game time, because I've been really excited about this. Like,
we love games.
Yeah. So how it's going to work, I'll explain it to you and chat. Sorry, audio listeners, you have to. Yeah, should have been live. Just kidding. We'll play the audio. But we're going to guess. The game is called VR Tumble or RL Stumble. So I'm going to play you a sound clip of, I don't know, someone screaming, getting into an accident, and you have to guess if it's a VR accident or something happening in real life. And I do have the videos associated with this well that I'll play after, but I also have chat. Chat can participate as well. When we're playing the audio clip, I'll have a little poll link up so you can vote on what you think it is, and then at the end of each one, I'll display the results and see how accurate, how good you guys are at differentiating your accidents. But do you think you're ready? I have 4 of them.
All right. Okay. I
hope this works. It better work. So I'm going to first put up the link so people will be able to get to that. And all right, let's pray. Let's pray and hope this works. Let me see.
Come on, ma'am. Okay, I see you. Chilling.
What do you think? Is it VR? I can play it again if you needed me to play it again too.
Oh man, that sounds so dangerous.
Yeah. Oh,
these videos are safe. Don't worry.
Play it again. Play it again.
Come on, ma'am. Okay, I see you. Chilling.
That's tough. This is really tough.
You all can vote on this link too. So we'll see what the chat votes on that website, bit.ly/VR Tumble 1.
Yep.
Ashley?
Yeah, I feel like it's VR.
You gotta get this right, because if you don't, there's
important.
very severe consequences.
There's huge consequences. Yeah.
What's your answer? You got a final answer?
VR. Lock it in.
Mm-hmm. Let's find out. I'll play the video and then well, actually, you know what? Let me show was that cheating? People can't vote that fast. Maybe. I think I'm going to show the results first.
Chat's
torn. Maybe we can go by chat results too, because I know the link's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
It's a Karen video.
It's a mix. Okay, so I'm going to show the video because I think it's funny as heck. Okay, let's go.
Come on, ma'am.
But you can't really go back in the elevator because we don't have a sitter at all.
Okay, I see you. Chilling.
VR. Yay!
Why did he do that?
Like, no one wins with this answer. Oh, brutal.
Ouch. Oh man, that his face.
Yeah.
But why did he do that? I'm so confused.
Yeah,
I wonder what he was doing. Probably with Richie's playing experience.
I think it was Richie's. Hold on.
Come on, ma'am.
But you can't really go back in the elevator because we don't have a sitter at all.
Okay, I see you. Chilling.
It's a great strut.
That looks brutal.
Does not get easy to watch.
No.
Okay, next one.
Okay.
All right, we ready for the next one?
I guess.
Put your hands on, hands in the middle, yeah.
I can play it again if you need me to. I'm always happy to.
Yeah. Hit me one more time.
Yeah, you got to put your hands on, hands in the middle, yeah.
That's real. Team real.
Team real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
About in chat? Do we have any guesses in chat? I'm going to see if I can accumulate it. Second one on VR too. Real bike. Oh, yeah. Bonus points if you can guess, say, if it's VR, what they're playing, and if it's real life, what their situation is. Ooh, okay, we got more for reals. Yeah, maybe I don't think I need the polls. I'm going to take the polls off real quick while people are guessing. Okay, are we ready for the reveal?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put your hands on, hands in the middle, yeah.
I feel like when you play these clips, you should have us on the side because my reaction was like,
Yeah.
Is there a layout where we can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'll do then is I'll put on the clip and you can shuffle the layout to one that works. Because I feel like the other ones cut it off a little, but we'll see. We're new with this. We're getting it. We're working on it.
Oh, gee.
I'd love to get the people's reactions.
So painful.
Yeah. Horrible.
All right. Are we ready for 3? Can you handle 3? Okay.
This is making me sweat.
Yeah.
I'm not even guessing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going.
Привет, я
Nice and short. I'll play it again because short.
Привет, я
Привет. I'll say VR.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
I say real.
Okay, we've got Ashley's for VR. We've got a couple of real. Jazz is for real. We've got a couple reels in chat. Someone says stairs. VR. Okay, let's find out.
Привет, я
I can play that one again.
Okay.
Привет, я
Wait.
What are they doing?
What is happening?
He was
What
throwing
are
a punch. I think it was just the drunk thing. On this couch. I don't know how that happens, but I'll say alcohol does crazy things.
That one didn't look as bad as the other two, though. At least I just still don't understand what they were doing, though.
Yeah.
What did you say on this one again? I'm going to keep score. So VR, you were VR for the first one, which was right. What were you for the second one?
Real.
VR. Oh, real.
Okay, so you have 2 right so far, 1 wrong. Doing good. We've got 1 left, so there's a chance. Are we ready for number 4?
Yes.
Oh, they said
ready.
boxing drunk and lost balance. That's what happened.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Drunk
Who
and
hasn't done that? Yeah.
You don't even have water anymore. Oh my god.
Oh, I bet this is VR. I feel like this is a VR vibe. This is like someone's doing something and they're getting laughed at.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I was like, I love it when people give their reasons on why they think it's VR. I can tell you if you're wrong or not. I'm just kidding. Okay, we've got
Should we
VR.
play it?
Okay, oh yeah, I can do it again.
You don't even have water anymore.
You're not even in a wall art anymore? What?
You're not even in the water anymore.
In the water?
Not even in water anymore, is what she said. I don't know if that helps. That makes it easier. That makes it harder.
Everyone's saying VR.
Yeah.
So let's just lay it on
right.
us.
Well, let's find out.
Oops, sorry.
You don't even have water anymore. Oh my god.
Hold on. I want to watch that one more time just because this one's my favorite one. But I was hoping that the "you're not even in water anymore" would trick some people up. But it's kayak VR. Funny enough, somehow you can get in an accident playing kayak VR.
That's wild.
You don't even have water anymore. Oh my god.
How do you? Why?
I am so confused. I have so many. I don't understand how this happened.
I feel bad for that PlayStation, the PSVR 2 as well. Whoever's that was. Oh man.
I know that was a new clip. I've seen a lot of people get hurt from like Quest, but that's the first one I've seen with PSVR 2. Moving on to bigger and better things.
I guess. But okay, I think you got was that 3 out of 4?
Yeah.
Or no? Yeah, 3 out of 4. So you win. I didn't come up with a prize or anything. I hope that's okay. The prize is you're awesome. You withstood listening to a lot of pain this podcast.
Brand says that last one was obviously staged for views.
What?
I don't know.
It might just be sheer jackassery. It very much could be.
I don't know, but she looks like middle-aged, like anyone's mom could throw her in a VR and then she doesn't realize what's happening.
Leans on the table. Yeah.
I don't think I ever. Wait, did you see my thread post about that?
PSVR saved her face.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't think I ever told y'all the story of how I put my mom in VR for the first time, and I think this is probably a lesson to be learned, everybody, okay? So the first time my mom decided to try VR is like during COVID time. She came over and I was trying to find, I was like, I'm sure I can get you into VR, like I'm positive. And so I put her into 11 table tennis because she loves ping pong. It was perfect. And I step out of the room for just 2 minutes. Literally, I was like, I'll be right back. I step out the room. I hear like a loud crashing sound. And I come over. I'm like, Mom, what the heck happened? She's on the floor, like in pain. I'm like, oh. And so I asked her what happened. She said that she got so into it, she forgot she was in VR because it was her first time ever playing. So she tried to lean on the virtual table to hit the ball and just fell straight through and really, she hurt herself quite bad. I know. And so I actually made a thread on Threads talking about when you first put someone to VR, make sure you know, ask them and find out what they like in real life to do, because there's a lot of things in VR that you can do in real life, or what kind of movies they like to watch if they're not a gamer, because that gives you an idea of genre of things that they'd be into. But also make sure you watch them. Even if it's something so simple, make sure you watch them because they'll probably fall. What was they forget?
What game did you put her in? I forgot to mention.
11 table tennis.
Oh,
of all things.
On the table, maybe.
Yeah, she got so excited, leaned on the table, and then after that, I had to find her something to. So I was like, I really don't want her to have to hate VR forever because she had a bad experience. I was like, I'm bad daughter, I did such a bad job. So I found her Trip VR, which she would like to help her relax and forget about the pain. So that's the meditation one. So she did that for until the headset died, and she was like, can you bring it back? That was really nice. So I'm glad I got her into VR anyway after that. But oh man, yeah, my mom could have, if I had a camera, she could have been a VR stumble.
Wouldn't that? Oh god, I feel so bad if you're like, that's my mom.
Yeah.
If I just
show
her, I'd be like, oh my god,
that's my mother.
Hey, at least you didn't try to put her through what everyone does for some reason is Richie's plank experience, first time VR.
No. This is the worst thing to put people into in the first time. Stop doing
that. If you really don't like someone, if you hate someone, sure, great option, yeah.
And the roller coaster one, don't do that. They're gonna throw up, and you know what? They may throw up on you because you're the one who's next to them.
Yeah. Headsets are expensive, man.
Yeah, I mean, in your headset, think about what you're doing here. All right. Well, that's it for us, I believe.
We did it. We got through it. Things worked for the most part. I'm proud of us. And I'm dude, Ashley is just so awesome. I will say, I think this isn't going to be embarrassing. Don't worry. Maybe slightly. We were at GDC, I think it was, together. And all the other bars I was going to for after parties were kind of boring. Someone had mentioned this record store bar. Got to meet up with her and Blair, Anti-Cleric, and Ashley is the most affectionate drunk ever of all time. But I don't know if you remember, you kept holding my hands, both hands, and you were like, "You're so great. I love you so much." It was so.
I genuinely do. That's why. I genuinely do. You're amazing.
I love drunk Ashley. So I tell you, it wasn't embarrassing because it was cute. It was adorable.
Wait, I have an Ashley story too. No, it was just the last time I saw Ashley. We went to it was at AWE. She was texting me. She's like, "Where are you? I want to hang out." And literally, she was sitting 4 seats away from me. I'm like, "I'm right here." But it was great. And then we had our little powwow, and it was great. Ashley is very wise and very underrated. So if you don't know about Titan Haptics, it's probably because you're not allowed to know.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's honestly an honor. Everyone knows you, everyone appreciates what you do, but just as a reminder, what you do as a group here and on your own really does matter. It has a huge impact on people in the space, people learning about it. So I just want to say I do love you guys so much. Like, you're both amazing women.
Thanks, Ash.
And just keep doing what you're doing. I know sometimes it can be tough being a woman in industry, having to, feels like sometimes you're just pulling the world with you, but huge impact. And y'all ladies are so awesome. You're such freaking badasses. Like,
I didn't know this was going to be a crying podcast. Yeah, I really appreciate having you. You're awesome. Stay awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for staying through the whole podcast. Yeah, that was one thing we wanted to try doing in this podcast was force our guests to stay through the entire podcast rather than just getting an interview segment and leaving. You must comment on all things VR with us. So thank you for being a trooper and being here for this whole thing.
I had so much fun. Thanks, ladies.
All right. Our next episode is going to be, don't forget, the third Wednesday of every month. So 1, 2, 3, the 16th of August is our next episode. And if you're not following us on Spotify, please follow us. Like, we have like 10 followers right now. You don't even have to listen to it. Just like, follow us. So it looks like we're cool on there. Yeah, just do it. It's really easy. I promise.
Extra credit if you share it with friends that like VR, but it's okay. But we just, or extra credit if you share with friends and they also hit that button and never listen. That's also fine.
Yeah. Hit all the buttons. Thank you. All right. Well, this was a great show. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for playing Adam's game.
Thanks.
And bye.